Okay, hello everybody. Today we're here in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 in the Cessna C152. We have an 86 nautical mile flight from India 69 Clark County, home of Sporties, to Juliet Victor Yankee Clark Regional. We'll be flying VFR, navigating underneath the Cincinnati Bravo, and doing it all without a GPS using pilotage and dead reckoning. Should be an awesome flight, so let's hop into the pilot seat and get started. Alright. We'll head down here to the floor and get the fuel selector on. Next, we'll go down here and check that all of our switches are off and our circuit breakers are in. Then we'll get our battery and master on. I'll go over here, check our fuel tank, left, right, both are full, so that looks good. We've got our beacon already on. We'll call clear prop, feet on the brake, keys in the ignition, and mixture to full rich, crack the throttle, crank it over, and we have ignition. Alright, got the RPMs at 1,000. We'll look down here at the oil pressure and verify that we do have oil pressure. Next, we'll head over here and pull back the mixture to lean it for ground operations. We'll head up to our radios, and for COM 1, we'll put in the CTAF for Sporties and for Clark. And for COM 2, we're going to monitor the Cincinnati Bravo. We'll also put in the CVG VOR for nav 1, in case we get ourselves a little turned around and need to use it. While we get that all dialed in, I'll open up Foreflight and take you through the flight brief. So you can see the blue of the Cincinnati Bravo. We are just east of that at Sporties, Clark County, which is an untowered field. If you look at the shelves of the Bravo, the inner shelf, of course, starts at surface, then they go to 2,100, 3,500, and 5,000. So our goal is to stay underneath the 5,000 and 3,000 shelves, so we'll fly at 2,500 to avoid busting the Bravo. We do also have an NDB, a non-directional beacon at Sporties. We'll dial that in if we want to use that. So we're going to head southwest on departure, cross the Ohio River. We're going to look for the roads that are called out on the map here, and then make our way to Campbell County Lake, which should be a good visual waypoint. From there, that'll be our first direction change. So we'll turn to heading 243 and fly roughly west until we intersect the Ohio River once again. And we're looking for the Markland Dam here. Should be a good visual waypoint. There's also a power plant with that. So once we get to the Markland Dam, then we can turn again, flying parallel to the Ohio River, and continuing along that course until once again we intersect the Ohio River. We've got some cooling towers there. It should be a nice visual waypoint. Continuing southwest, we will probably spot Charleston on our right, and that'll let us know that we are getting close to Clark Regional. Clark Regional is untowered and it's just north of a Class Charlie, but as long as we come in from the northeast and remain in the pattern, we will remain clear of the Class Charlie. Clark County traffic, Cessna 7612 Tango, taxi from the ramp to runway 4, hold short, Clark County. Alright, we're mostly clear except for the ground people we can't get rid of. Let's release the parking brake and we'll head on our way. While we're taxiing, I'll give you an update on my real-life flight lessons. So I've been practicing short and soft field landings and doing them on our paved runway. We also have a grass strip, which has been closed over winter, but just reopened. So for the first time, I got to actually land and take off on grass, which itself was pretty cool, but the grass strip itself is kind of terrifying because it's 1,500 feet long and has a wall of trees at the end of it. Plus the pattern for the grass strip intersects with the mountain, so you've got to play chicken with trees and chicken with a mountain in order to fly and land at the grass strip, and that I was a little freaked out about. Let's pause here and we will do our run-up, so we'll get the throttle in, and we'll head over to our magnetos. Do mag left. Listen and watch for the drop. Clark County traffic, Cessna 12 Tango departing runway 4 will be departing the pattern from the left downwind to the southwest at 2,500 Clark County. Going back to my real life lessons, if you missed my last video, it was in-flight video from my last flight, which was my first solo flight to a towered field. And it was very cool. It was very surreal not having anybody sit in the right seat. It was first thing in the morning and I pretty much had the towered field to myself. Normally when you call up ATC to request landing, they'll give you a pattern entry and then they'll give you a clear to land once you arrive at that point. In my case, they gave me a clear to land before I even entered their airspace with no pattern entry. So it was up to me to figure out how I wanted to enter the pattern, and I just had the airport to myself for my 3 full stop landings. Back to our virtual flight, we are departing the downwind and making our first turn. We've got the Ohio River already in sight, which is our first waypoint. So let's sit back and enjoy that awesome flight simulator scenery. Alright, good thing this is only virtual because I busted the Bravo by about 300 feet. The shelf started at 2100 and I was at 2400 when I drifted into it. And I drifted into it because it's actually a little bit harder in the game than it is in real life to hold a heading and to spot visual waypoints, especially if you don't have photogrammetry. But live and learn. So it was awesome doing an eyeball and stick and rudder type flight. If you enjoy content like this, be sure to click that like button, leave me a comment, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks, as always, for flying along with me, and stay tuned for further flight adventures.